I have a question from OG Assassin's Creed fans. When you hear the title of the franchise, who is the first character that pops up in your mind? Is it Edward? Cassandra? Maybe Connor? No? Then who? You're right. It's Ezio Auditore da Firenze. Ezio is that one iconic character that just defines this franchise. Even though he wasn't the first main character of the series, but it just clicked and everyone just loved Ezio. Little you know that it's because all of this popularity that Ubisoft is never bringing Ezio back to the series, and actually Ubisoft just do anything to prevent it from happening. But why? I'll tell you in seconds, but before I start, just smash that subscribe button for me, would you? Did you did it? Cool, now let's talk and let's go back a little bit. Back in 2007 when the first Assassin's Creed released, everyone was talking about it. It was like nothing you had seen before in video games industry. It looked like the Prince of Persia installment, but with some new elements and differences. It was big. I mean, you could just guess by playing it for 10 minutes that it was going to be the next big thing. But this one actually supposed to be a new Prince of Persia installment. But Ubisoft didn't want this game to belong to PoP. Because the main idea was about a female assassin who had the mission to protect the prince, but Ubisoft thought the prince was not getting enough attention in this game, and Ubisoft Montreal just decided to develop this one as a new franchise. Although it was big, new and fresh, but you totally guessed that it wasn't supposed to be this way. It was a complete banger, but it looked like it's an unfinished game. The constant loadings and the small city, which all of them look the same, and the similar missions in every chapter just suggested that Ubisoft is testing this one. But doesn't matter, everyone loved it. Combat system was absolutely sensational, and the animations were softer and better than before, and it even had better parkour elements than Prince of Persia. It looked like a better version of PoP that Ubisoft didn't really had the enough faith on it. The main big problem with the first one was the main character. Altair ibn Ahad was cool and intimidating, but it didn't really draw much enthusiasm from players to actually enjoy following his story. The best character of the game was Al-Muallim, who was the surprise antagonist and delivered some good dialogues and acting. Now Ubisoft has a new IP underhand which everyone loved, but the company itself know that they didn't bring out the best they could. Then everything comes to 2009 when the second installment, Assassin's Creed 2, released. No sign of Altair whatsoever, and all of a sudden Desmond, who was a nobody at the first one, become one of the main characters, and this one starts to have a more bright theme to it. Everyone had a line, everyone was more realistic and lifelike than before as a character, and there was even a new main character to control. Ezio Auditore da Firenze, a young good-looking playboy Italian man who lives with his family, who are one of the high families of Florence. Believe it or not, it felt weird. First, I didn't want it. Where is Altair? Where is that cold and blue gradient of the game? Why is everything warmer? Why you can do so much in this game? Is this the GTA of Renaissance? I couldn't believe it. Assassin's Creed 2 was the perfect game. I couldn't find any problems with it. I loved Ezio. He had one of the best character development of all time, from being a dumb playboy to a master assassin. His story was inspiring and unlike any other games. It was even more a cinematic experience than a video game. And it wasn't just me, everyone just loved Ezio. For a long period of time, every gaming forum I'd go to, there were like 100 people just chooses Ezio as their profile. It blew up like hell and everyone was talking about, and you know what it means, right? It means Ubisoft is going to actually ruin it for everyone and make 100 games based on Ezio. So they did a sequel called Assassin's Creed Brotherhood in 2011, which was occurred right after the events of the Assassin's Creed 2, and the main star was still Ezio. Okay, here's an unpopular opinion. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood was actually better than the previous one. It has all the core elements of AC2, but better villain, better gameplay, smoother animations, bigger world, and the return of some of our favorite characters in AC2. Also, you could do a lot of horse riding, which was fun. The story of Desmond and Lucy got more engaging too. Everything is fine, right? The game looks good, story looks good, but as you reach the ending, you witness one of the worst ending of all time. It was unbelievable. They just ruined it for us. This story was so amazing that they could actually extend it in 3 more games, but they decided to be different. In air quote. This isn't the worst thing ever. I mean, I still enjoyed playing Brotherhood. It was a decent game, but later on is where the shit happened. The year is 2011, and the Assassin's Creed Revelations just released. God, it was awful. Everything we loved about this game was torn apart and some new, not so well implemented elements find their way in, and overall it sucked. I don't know why, but media has started to give some decent score for this one, but I think back then, blindness was a pandemic. So Ezio is old now, ready to embrace his heritage, and for that he goes to Masyaf, where the main character of the first AC game, Altair, was living, and Ezio has started to see the ghost of Altair telling him what should he do. I can't even bother myself to say how much stupidness was in this story. And the most painful thing was, this was the last time we're going to explore AC World with Ezio. Don't even get me started on gameplay. For some idiotic reasons, Ubisoft thought it was a good idea to put a tower defense and tower attack minigame as some of the main quests, just like what CJ did in GTA San Andreas to gain control of the city for Grove Street Gang. There were bombs too. You could make 100 types of bombs which you could do absolutely nothing with it. I mean, I don't think I even used one, and that's not the only useless item in the game. Revelations had a brand new hidden blade called Hook Blade, so you could have the ability to run away from the enemies a little easier and have some cool looking animations for parkour. So let's sum it up. We have tower defense, bomb making, and hook blade. Fun fact, Ubisoft never ever used these elements in any other AC game. So imagine yourself how actually shit it was. So there you go. Goodbye Ezio, it was a good run while it lasted. Tons of AC games released since that time, and the franchise gained so much success since then. Ubisoft even changed the style and genre of the game. Assassin's Creed smoothly changed from action-adventure to a role-playing game with adventure elements. But no matter how much success it brings to the franchise, everyone still wants Ezio to come back. But let me give you a spoiler. This never happens and you better make your peace with it. But why? It took me a while to reach this point, but believe me, you had to know the full story to understand my logic. First of all, yes, Revelation was a bad AC game, but it had a good thing that I really enjoyed. I mean, not at first, but it started to grow on me. That good thing was the location of the game, which was Turkey. They decided to move on from Italy and continue Ezio's journey on Turkey. Seeing the Ezio in that country at first is disturbing, but I really enjoyed the beauty of someplace new in an AC game. And I think everybody would agree with me in this one. Location and the world making of Revelations was amazing, and that gave Ubisoft an idea to do more than just Italy and Turkey. So, by not having Ezio back in the franchise, they can do so many more countries, and they already did a lot. They went to France, England, Greece, America, Egypt, Norway, and even the Caribbean region. For the next one, they are going to Iraq and Baghdad. That was just impossible to guess in 2011. But Ubisoft in every game just brings some of the best architecture of every country at a specific time period. The other reason that Ezio is not happening is because they already did the best they could with AC2. That game probably had the best character development in the whole franchise, and there is absolutely no way that they could do any better than that. So other than remaking the game with some new gameplay elements and much more better graphics, but no touching any events in the story, I don't see that Ezio comes back to the franchise. Right now, Ubisoft is in a rough situation and they're missing milestones one after the other. So the risk of ruining an installment of their most successful franchise right now is just stupid, and Ubisoft don't need any stupid decisions right now. Thanks for sticking to the end. Don't forget to subscribe guys, I post every day. See ya!